Today on Old But Gold, I have brought Old, directed by M. Night Shyamalan. A group of families on a tropical holiday discover that this secluded beach where they are staying is somehow causing them to age rapidly, reducing their entire lives into a single day. 30 minutes is equivalent to about 1 year. Like, is this not an elite concept? I find this so interesting. The movie starts off with the main family being introduced, and they are arriving at the resort. You have Guy, who is the father. His name is Guy. Priska, the mother. Maddox, the daughter, and the youngest child is Trent, the son. We learn the parents are getting a divorce and the mother has cancer, so two pretty bad things. And this is a 3-day vacation so that these kids can have a normal time, or I guess it was supposed to be normal, but a normal time before the parents tell the kids that they are getting a divorce and their mother has cancer. So yeah, that's pretty, that sucks. That sucks. We even get a scene where the kids are in the bedroom, the parents are in the washroom, and they are fighting, and the kids are just sitting there like, damn. We eventually meet the other families, the family with the mother, Crystal, who tells her daughter, Kara, to sit upright because this is not going to be good for her posture. It will make her have bad posture. This would mess up her back as she gets older. This is what I would have said, right? Sit upright so your back doesn't get messed up. But her lovely mother said, no, sit upright so that you don't get bad posture, so that when you're older, having a bad back would be less attractive to men. So, I mean, yeah, such a good mother. Her husband, Charles, is a doctor, and the doctor brought his mother, Agnes, who is suffering from hearing loss. The next family is just a couple. We meet them when the wife, Patricia, has a seizure, and her husband, Jarin, says that she did it for attention. But he said this in a jokingly loving way, not a rude and mean way. So now let's get to the good parts. Let's get to the juicy part of this movie. All these families end up going on this private beach, but the beach, for whatever reason, makes time speed up. 30 minutes is 1 year. So you take a 30-minute nap and you are literally a whole ass year older. The best part of this movie by far is watching how this impacts the characters, especially the children. We see Maddox and Trent go from little kids to full-grown adults. In one scene, Patricia and Jarin ask them how old they are, and Maddox says 11 and Trent says 6 because this is the ages they were when they came to this resort. But by this point, they were already like teenagers. Like, they aged multiple years just by like 3 hours, just a few hours. We see Crystal, someone who is a person who is very concerned about how she looks, and she absolutely breaks down and becomes a witch-like creature. Like, she looked very freaky as this movie progressed. And it turns out that all that calcium deficiency stuff she was talking about, it was true, because we get to see her die in a very freaky way. Like freaky in a kind of cool way, because her bones just, how can I even describe this? Her bones just basically just start snapping. We see Agnes, who is the first to die because she was old, so we see Charles, who just throughout the movie just gradually loses his mind and he ends up killing mid-sized Sudan. And yes, that mid-sized Sudan is that guy. His name is Mid-Sized Sudan in the movie. He is a rapper, and I want to say that's a bad rapping name, but I think I have come across worse. We see Priska and Guy grow old and I guess make peace with their divorce arguments they were having, mostly because they were just old and couldn't remember anything. But that moment where they are sitting by the fire and almost just coming to peace with life, I suppose, that was a sweet and sad moment, because they did end up dying like 5 minutes later after that moment. And of course, how can I forget the one of the most funniest parts, let me not say funny, one of the most crazy parts of the movie is the older versions of Trent and Kara. Kara gets pregnant and it's on the first try because, you know, time speeds up. So I guess you do it once and you get pregnant. Then they just come out just like 10 minutes later, maybe they come out and Kara is already like fully pregnant. Just minutes later, she's fully pregnant. And she just came out casually saying, oh, we're just playing. I just got a little fat. Because I guess technically she doesn't really know what is happening because when she came here, she was like 5 years old. So yeah, I'm not a female, but imagine getting pregnant and then having that baby like 20 minutes later. That is wild. Kara does end up dying because she was trying to climb upwards, up these massive rocks that were trapping them. She was trying to escape and she just falls down and dies, which, yeah. I guess that's unfortunate. A lot of funny, shocking, and interesting things happen here. And yeah, the company behind all of this are basically treating these people like lab experiments so they can find and create cures for diseases. And even somebody said that, yo, they only need the people who are sick. So, for example, Priska had cancer. Patricia had seizure issues. They are only testing the people with these illnesses. So all the normal people are just collateral damage, I guess. And somebody did say, like, we should separate the normal people from the people who they actually need so less people can die. But yeah, I guess, yeah, they just did not want to do that. But yeah, the ending was cool. Shout out to Idlib, who plays a very big part in that. It's a fun movie, but there are still some negatives. The main one being the acting is quite bizarre at times. Like, a few scenes remind me of my high school drama class, and this is not a compliment. Once I notice one bad scene in a movie, it just takes me out of the movie. It makes me feel like this is not a movie anymore. It's a skit or something. And this movie had more than one bad scene. There's multiple in this movie. And I don't mind one bad scene with bad acting, but when there is like multiple, then yeah, like that's not cool. I did go back and watch some clips from the movie just to make sure maybe I was just being a little bit too harsh, but nah, it's just bad acting. And this is why this movie feels like not a top tier movie, because the performances are just, overall, it's just not coherent enough. So it just feels like not a top tier movie. I don't know if it's the script that was just bad or the acting made the script seem bad, but this does drag the movie down a lot. Still, this is a fun watch, and it's so fun that it almost makes me not really care too much about the bad acting. I still care, but like I can still enjoy this movie because the concept and the things that happen are just so interesting. On my last rewatch, I gave this a 7 out of 10, which would be like a pretty good movie. I'll be honest, whenever I do decide to rewatch this again, probably will give it a lower score. As of right now, it's a 7. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.